Welcome. My name's Molly Danielson. I'm here with head coach Josh Davis. Again, our third interview. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing so good. All right, just going to dive right in. Your first game on Friday was against Lewis and Clark, and then on Saturday it was against Pacific Lutheran. So on Friday, Lewis and Clark, it was first set victory, right? And then the next three were losses. Can you explain that game a little bit and what happened there?
Yeah, that game was a good matchup for us. We knew that they played scrappy defense, and so we were going to have to just grind it out and keep figuring out ways to score points. And the first set, we did that. We didn't play as well as we'd have liked, but we knew that, hey, that was possible. And after that, I've seen it before. Lewis Clark's just a gritty team, and we just had some trouble putting the ball away at points that were key. And so they grinded it out, and they play a little bit different style where they run the back or attack a lot. And we were getting a lot of touches on our blocks, but it was like a deflection just off the side, and it would fall to the floor. So that kind of hurt us a little bit.
Gotcha. And another thing too is Hannah Waterman had 7 blocks in that game. That's kind of unreal.
Yes, we do a blocking scheme for every game, and so that really helped us. That really helps us in these some of these matches where, it allows our blockers to get some block touches and block kills. And so that was a game where it really stood out for us, and so we were really pleased with that.
Nice. And so going on to Saturday, played against Pacific Lutheran, like I said, last year, 2018 conference champs. You guys really came to play. That first set, though, I believe was 25-14. But in the next two, you guys are right with them the whole time, just couldn't get over the hump. Explain how your team plays against better teams and how that affects your program.
Yeah, I think because the beginning of the season we played a couple nationally ranked opponents, they knew the kind of mentality you have to go in for those games. And they knew that since we compete with them, we compete with anyone. So they almost like that challenge a little bit more than some teams that we match up more evenly with. So that's always good to see. That's always promising that we're right there. It's just a matter of, it's a couple, maybe 1 or 2 rotations and 1 or 2 scoring runs that we need to stop a little sooner. But we've worked on those, so hopefully that comes into play this weekend too.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now I'm going to look at star players more so for this last week. I would say Reagan Dean, your junior, had 8 kills on Friday and on Saturday, so she's doing a really good job. And then you got Maya Nakasone, your freshman, who I believe had 21 digs on Friday and 18 on Saturday. And she's actually 5th in for conference play in digs, which is 69 total. So talk about those 2 players and their impact on the team. Yeah,
Reagan's just an all-around player, and she's kind of she's been there before, so she kind of knows how to lead in just that overall aspect of the game. And one thing we talked to the team about was, especially in Pacific Lutheran, we knew that they were targeting her, and first she was struggling a little bit, but she was able to pick herself up with a couple of the things we've talked over the past 2 seasons. And so that was really great that she was able to pick up her passing game, and her hitting is getting better. And we've been working on, how can we score points in different ways. So she's really utilizing those and trying to lead in those aspects. And then Maya, she's just an all-out baller. She's willing to sacrifice anything so that ball doesn't hit the floor, and it really shows in her digging numbers. So I'd expect as the conference season goes on, she'll start creeping up even higher in those digs and digs per set in the conference.
Yeah, she's really close. I think she's at 69. The next person's at 71, so she could totally work her way up. And she was just diving all over the place. PLU, honestly, some of your games just kept going because she sacrificed her body, running one way across the court and into the next. So I'm a big fan of Nakasone. Another thing, too, so fast forward, we're going to play the Wits this weekend. Yes. We got Whitman on Friday and Whitworth on Saturday. How are you preparing for them? Because they're different on paper. You got Whitman, which is the lowest in the conference at 0-4 record, and then you got Whitworth, that's the top at 4-0. How are you approaching? Are you approaching them differently, or what's your take?
We are approaching them a little bit differently, but a lot of it we're still focusing on is still our side of the net, and we're figuring out, okay, how can we score points in creative ways, especially when we're struggling? And some of those ways are going to be the same for kind of all teams. Yeah. If a team is good at blocking, we can score by using their hands and tooling the block a little bit, and that can be against whoever you're playing, no matter the level. But I think against some of the teams that are a little bit lower, it's just keeping our mindset of, okay, we're going to keep mini games of 3 and keeping our focus opposed to playing either down to that level or whatever it may be. And then Whitworth, we just know that we have to serve tough and be aggressive in all aspects of the game. We have to come out with that game mentality that we've been doing against these ranked opponents. So I think that's our mentality against them, and utilizing the things that we've been working on in practice to score points to give us some of the victories.
That's awesome. I think you guys are building momentum. I really do. And I think the morale is happening right now. You'll be seeing your Linfield Wildcats play a Friday and Saturday at home. Both games are going to have Whitman at 7 and then Whitworth at 6 on Saturday. Tune in.